This video is meant to provide an overview of the online Scratch environment. To access a Scratch environment, you can use any browser really, and you can input the scratch.mit.edu in the URL, and you'll be brought to this main page. A unique feature of, or a great feature of Scratch is the ability to start creating without even having a user ID. And you do that by clicking this button here, Start Creating, or this option at the top menu, Create. The moment that you want to save your project, though, you will need to create a user ID, and you'll have to hit Join or Join Scratch here. It is important to know that any sign-ins do require usernames and email addresses. So if that's information you don't want tracked, say, for example, from your students, you may want to create some generic accounts. Another menu option here is Explore. Explore shows various different projects that have been shared to the community. So projects that you create in Scratch have the option of being shared or not shared, and those that are shared could be featured. So as is shown here. Featured studios are projects that are sorted into similar themes. Another option within Scratch is the idea that when you share something, it can be remixed. So various reasons you may want to remix existing Scratch projects are because, say, there's a activity you're trying to do in a code and you're having some difficulties or you're not sure exactly how. By remixing a project that has already accomplished that code, you can see how it's done and you can then modify it and save it from there. Also, if there is a code that is taking many steps, many blocks in certain orders, you may want to remix it from an existing project and save it and modify it from there. As you can see here, you can like different options, but liking and comments can also be removed. You don't have to have that available when you do share. You can see here, right, the button About Scratch for Parents and for Educator. These options are also available in the About menu. If you click on Ideas, this is a nice little feature of Scratch. It helps you, say you don't know where to start. There's tutorials or how to get started here. There's also the idea of these activity guides. So these are really short, visual, step-by-step guides that help you to accomplish certain activities within Scratch. This is useful for starting, but also for when you're trying to do certain things within your story and you're not sure how. And these are very easy to follow. Another resource that's available are coding cards, and I think this is particularly helpful for educators who want an additional resource to help their students as they're learning new coding activities to have these visual step-by-step cards available. And there's a lot of different options here at 208 pages. This is the online version, but there is also available an app that you can download, and you can use it without having an internet connection. So if the Wi-Fi option is not good, you can always use the Scratch app, or if you just don't want to connect online, that's another option as well. Going back up to the top, the last menu option is About. And here's About Scratch. There's an intro video, the TED Talks from one of the creators, Mitch Resnick at the MIT Media Lab. Also around the world, Scratch is available in multiple different languages. And then there's lots of information for educators. So Scratch in schools, how it's being used in schools. By clicking on this button, I can see discussions, resources, and stories of its use in schools. There's also the information for educators. So clicking on this button at the top, this is a whole page dedicated to educators using Scratch. So resources, connecting with other, news, and then there's the teacher account. So as a teacher, you can create an account in Scratch that allows you to manage a class, to have your students all put in the same class and under a similar theme, and have them work in the same studio, and you can see all of their different projects and provide some very specific feedback as well. So you can request that account there. So that is the overview of Scratch and its online environment.